for you, we're very excited. And
That's
that's as we're getting our Cinesites ready for the next rollout, right?
That's absolutely correct. There will be continuous, there's continuous rollouts of Cinesites, but as Jerry had mentioned, now is the time to start get your Cinesites and get used to it. Again, let's make some noise for Jerry. She's fantastic. Thanks so much. I know we gave her a short period of time, due because we have a lot of speakers, but I know that she'll be able to answer a number of questions afterwards. Is that right, Jerry? Okay, awesome. All right, so let's talk now a little bit about some training programs, all right? These are things that you have been asking for, ever since I started. I went out to the field and I said, hey, guys, what are you really looking to do? And what do you want to hear from it? What do you want to learn? And one thing that came at the top of the list, it was compliance, right? You were very interested. So as you noticed, we started adding, and you're going to hear a lot more today about compliance, or is it tomorrow, today, or today about compliance. So not only are we going to be adding more training on compliance at particular events that we put on, but we're also going to do a lot of video work on compliance as well. So the things that you're asking for, we want to make sure that you get it and you get them firsthand from us. So that's some really good news there. The second thing that you were also asking for is business building practices and business building tools and business building systems. So what we're hearing from the group, and correct me if I'm wrong, or nod your heads or clap or whatever you like to do, just to make sure we're on the right track, is that you say, okay, Chris, I'm building my Cinegen's business. I just got involved, but I need to get into a system. I need to get into a training. I need to know how to slow down any attrition. People may be coming and going, what do I need to do and what do I need to do now and what do I need to do next and how do I engage my group? Isn't that correct? I'm assuming that's what everybody wants, right? So we are going to be doing that. We are putting together a full training system that myself and all the sales team, we have Laura, we have Leslie, and we have marketing also involved as well. We have Maria and so forth. That's going to help put together what we call an easy to duplicate business building system for y'all. Is that pretty good? All right. Now, there's also another very important aspect that we want to put in, and the best way to say it is really more to show it. So let's run the video.
There's all this pressure, and sometimes it feels like it's right up on me, and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless, and I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I'll bet if we got that out of there...
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing...
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See, you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just... Sometimes it's like there's this achy... I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. All of them.
That sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Oh, come on. If you would just...
Don't...
Try to see things my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can go on?
Hopefully you're getting the idea behind that particular training that we're going to be doing. And the training really is for the men in your life, the sentiment, right? Okay? And one thing that we found out, by the way, just to show of hands, how many of your husbands have been to an event or maybe on one of our reward strips, right? Yeah. And just by, again, a show of hands or maybe an applause, how has their life and their viewpoint changed since they've been on one of those events, right? So we cannot stress the importance of, obviously, your significant other, right, to be a part of our family. And one thing that we found out is that during these events and during some of these rewards trips that we are on, or whether they come to seminar, is that they have some very, very important questions to ask. And they're probably asking you those questions. You're probably tired of answering those questions, are you not? It's like, enough already, right? Or there may be a dip, and they may be like saying, I told you so, I told you. And you're like, oh, God, not again, not again. And so what we would like to do as a company is we want to embrace them because they really have some very valid questions, and they want to make sure that this is something for real, and they want to know how long lasting it is, and they want to get all through the very hard questions, and we are going to be there to answer. So we're going to be putting together some training programs for your husbands out there as well, so we can answer those questions and we can get them involved. Because as you can see by the woohoos and the applause, once they do start attending events, they get a completely different perspective on what this is. And suddenly they start to realize that, hey, this is a real business with some real income. Is that not true? Are y'all with me? All right. So that's something that I thought we would have a lot of fun with it. And so at events where the husbands are invited, we do want to do breakout sessions with them. Is that pretty cool? Okay. All right. All right. So as I close here today, I want to share with you a story which kind of changed my life. And, this being kind of a training event, I always feel like it's important that I leave you with something that helped me build business, this type of business, and build in actually very large numbers. So there was a story I heard, or I think I read it. It was a long, long time ago I read it, and it made a big impact on me. And it was I guess it was called an experiment maybe they did at Harvard. I think it was an experiment they did at Harvard. And they asked the class, the graduating class, I want you to write down your goals, right? And so you think, wow, Harvard, that's a pretty prestigious university. Most everybody must have written down their goals, right? I mean, very smart group of people, right? It turned out that only 3% of the class wrote down their goals. Only 3%. 97% didn't. I'm pretty good at math. So that didn't have to take my shoes off for that one. All right. So what happened is about 20 or 25 years later, they went back and they looked at that graduating class. And did you know that the 3% that wrote down the goals earned more income and apparently lived a happier life and a healthier life than the 97 combined? Isn't that amazing? And so what this taught me was that, and ever since that point, I said, you know what? I got to be writing down my goals all the time. And for those of in our company, our executive team, I am consistently repeating my goals over and over and over again until it pretty much drives them crazy. But if I don't say it and I don't write it down, then I don't believe it. But that was a life-changing moment for me. And I know we talk a lot about goals. Did we not? We do. We talk a lot about writing down your goals, and we say, no, but it's all in here. But it's really interesting what happens when you actually write them down and then you verbally express them and you keep talking about them. We all believe that what you think you become, correct? Right? And so if you're constantly affirming yourself, and these are the goals, this is going to happen, eventually it will. You don't have to know the answers on how.